What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a great day. I am having, it is a day of substantial clarity. You ever have a day where you just wake up and you're like in the zone? I woke up today and I'll say this. I actually woke up yesterday when I felt like was in the zone. And then church, we had some of the crazy stuff happen. Like at 8 o'clock, there were five adults there, or five volunteers there. At 8:04, there were five of us. There were zero children. And it was really, really weird. And we ended up with six kids. And then 9 o'clock, 9:30, we had about 12 kids. I think we ended up with 13 or 14. And then the last service, 11 o'clock, we ended up having like 20 something kids. But we ran 97 kids total for the weekend, which is one up from the previous week. That is a good sign. But I also woke up with just this really strong sense of, man, we have loopholes that we need to be taking advantage of. And so I was on the phone earlier today with a teacher, and just basically going, hey, we can have kids at the church. We cannot have kids at schools. But your class list, you have 8 kids in your school, or in your class that go to church here. And so really trying to basically set up some like rogue small groups to basically get school classrooms to get to meet together in person in our building. I'm also now kind of working on a discipleship booklet resource for kids, in the early stages of that, I should say. And then I'm also doing some Google team trainings, for us, for you guys, for me, with this strong sense of going, hey, we're gonna basically take everything to ground zero. And I don't remember who I was talking to about this, but I was talking to a couple of you yesterday, and just this idea of, some people are not ready to come back because of COVID stuff, both families and volunteers. Some people are just going like, hey, we're just not ready yet because summer. Others are just going, hey, it's going to be till not till phase 4, or maybe not ever again, and all that's totally okay. That's where you're at, and I'm not trying to rush anybody to do anything they don't want to do. But what we really need to do is look at, we are not a children's ministry of 550 kids right now. We're a children's ministry of 100 kids right now. And back-to-back weeks, we've been at 96 and 97. And let's not pretend like we need to prepare for 500, or elementary wise. Let's not prepare we need to, or pretend we need to prepare for 300. Like, what can we do as a small church? Like, I've only ever been the children's pastor of a big church with a lot of volunteers. And right now we're at this stage where, we're a small church with a small number of leaders. And some of you are in high school, some of you are adults, some of you have kids, some of you are single. We have a wide variety. But as we do grow, as people do become comfortable, we're going to have to go from being a small church to a medium-sized church really quickly. And I don't want us to continue to pretend like we're a big church when we're a small church. And I also don't want us to have to go from being a small church to a big church overnight, when being a small church to a medium church is okay. And just the way we think about things. So I have just been working on a lot of things, basically stripping it all down to ground zero. We said the first month was, hey, it doesn't have to be perfect. We just have to be open. Like, we just need to create a safe place for kids to come. It's fun where they can learn about Jesus, and we have done a great job of that. And now it's time to go, hey, let's take the next step. And what does that look like? And so, let me tell you this: for us, for the next month, the month of September, it's not going to look a ton different, in the execution of it. It's really going to be behind the scenes. And what I'm doing is, we now have 95 kids, 97 kids who are coming into our children's ministry. That means we have 97 kids' parents who are okay with them coming in. Meaning, as we look to expand from small to medium, we need to start with those parents and go, hey, who's not serving somewhere? And are they going to be willing to come in for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 weekends a month and volunteer in children's ministry? Because this is what I was talking to Hannah. I said, Hannah Graves at the 11 o'clock service, and we agreed, like, we had about 20 kids. It was me, Hannah, and Madeline. And we said, man, at 20 kids, this was great. We had like 6, 7, and 7 in the small group size. But if we had 40 kids at that service, with just the three of us, we're hosed. And at 9 o'clock, it was Josiah and Maddie and Caitlin and Joseph, and there were four of them. Well, that worked out great because we had like 12, 13, 14 kids. Like that's 7 and 7. That's great. But if we have double that, we're hosed. So we have to prepare for that next size up. And so I just want you to know my focus for this next season, and by season I do mean month, is to kind of recruit that next tier and go, hey, it's not our people who have been on our team for years and years. It's not the people who aren't ready to come back. I'm not trying to rush anyone back. I'm not going to call any of our current volunteers. If you're watching this just to keep up with what we're doing, I'm not trying to guilt you into coming back. I'm not going to call you and ask you to come back. I am just going to let you know, hey, here's how we're moving forward. When you're ready, call me. When you're ready to come back, we will welcome you back with open arms. We'll have a spot for you, get you back in a small group. But what we want to do is get a consistent base of kids going. Hey, I want the third, fourth, and fifth graders, or the first, second, and third graders to be with the same leader every week, so we can start building that relationship. But also know that as the school year comes into session, we're going to grow, and we are not equipped for that at this exact date. And that's totally okay because we're not there yet. We're a small church. We have a small number of kids, a small number of adults and high schoolers. All that's great. But I just woke up going like, man, like I really feel like for finally in all this COVID stuff, everything's kind of been reactions and going, this is what we're allowed to do. So now we need to make a plan. And now it's kind of like for the first time going like, hey, I know what we need to do. Now we get to make the plan based on where we want to go, not based on where they're telling us to go, if that makes sense. So I'm super excited about this. And again, so for this next week, it's going to be, I'm going to live teach, or someone will be live teaching. So we're not going to do the Carl videos this month, just to give kids something different. We're going to do live teaching. Everything else is going to look the same. They're going to come in, opening small group, host, worship, story, final small groups. So the way we're going to execute for right now is the same. But again, like I said, it's the behind the scenes stuff. So let me give you the 20-second version of this, because like I said, it's pretty simple execution. The opening small group is going to be just going, man, what have you had to wait a long time for? And the reason we're going to ask that question is because Joseph was waiting for God's promises to come true. We learned last week God's promises might take time. He waited for 13 years. What's something you've had to wait a long time for? And you're going to ask him about that. Anything you've had to wait? 13 years is older or longer than any kid in our children's ministry. So we're going to do that. And then in the host time, we're going to play a game, and we're going to look 13 years ago and go, hey, do you think this existed 13 years ago? So like, for example, iPhones. Do kids think that iPhones were a thing 13 years ago? And we'll look at things like MP3 players in general and CD players and was a cassette player. Is that how we listened to music 13 years ago? Where you go, well, no, that's too old. But man, I gotta love cassettes though, don't we? Then we'll do worship. We're gonna do the same two songs, Heartbeat and Zeal. We're gonna start doing songs back to back weeks. That way, our kids who are coming back in, if they come 2 weeks in a row, they will have a little bit of familiarity with the song. So we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna do our Cool Carl story for one final week as we wrap up Joseph, because like I said, this is August 30th, 27th, and 30th. So, and then our discussion, we're gonna talk about Pharaoh's dreams, that God keeps his promises. That's the general idea. Promise stickers. Kids are gonna have blank stickers, kind of like name tags, where they get to design them, but we want one of them at least to say that God keeps promises, that they can walk out with that reminder stuck to them. They can make a second one to give to a mom or dad or brother or sister or friend or whoever. And then we have a memory verse activity, the flip-flop verse. And so we have these printable cutouts that are in the shape of flip-flops. And so then they'll put them all down like feet, and they'll race to put the memory verse together. And then we'll have a couple of games. Like we're going to be back in the normal KidMin room this week. Fingers crossed, unless something changes in the next 2 days. So we're going to have some hula hoops taped to the wall as targets for paper airplanes. And then we're also going to have some hula hoops on the ground for we're going to play the hula hoop rock, paper, scissors game that if you were at our one day, you saw that. So I'll attach a video for that as well. So super fun week, super fun day, pretty simple. Like I said, simple in execution, doing the same thing. But now our first goal was open, like be open, have something for kids, have it be fun, have it be safe, talk about Jesus. And we've been killing that. So now it's really great to get to kind of sit back and go, okay, now the bar was here, like be open. That's it. And now the bar is going to go to like here. Again, we're not trying to go here. It's not like, hey, now we need to be perfect. No, not perfect. We were open. Now we're going to get a little bit more intentional with the relationship side of it. And then we're going to figure out, hey, what's working here? And then we're going to go to here, and then we're going to go here. But that's later. We're here. Now we're going to shoot for here, and then we're going to shoot for here. But right now we're here, and at some point we will get to here. But for right now, we're right here. Okay. So as we do these things, if you have ideas for consistency, for relationship, for getting kids, for volunteers, let me know. If you know someone that you're like, man, for this season that we're in, this person would be great. Ask them to come and join you. I'll get them an application. We'll get them signed in, checked in. They'll come in. It'll be awesome. We were here. Now we're going for here. Soon we'll be here, but that's not where we need to be. We need to be right here. We need to just be intentional with the relationship that we are having with our kids and with our families, and we want them to feel safe and to come in. So have a great day. Have a great week. I will talk to you guys very, very soon. I'll see you on Thursday. I'll see you on Sunday. It's going to be a party. Peace out.